So Frankie, by the way, so he did sign that the agreement, by the way. So who's Jesus? Is that Jesse's partner? Frank, do you know? Or is that Jesse's middle name? Is Jess Chavez, Senior Frank? Mm. Rachel, I made you co-host. You can keep an eye too on the
Always. Sure. Thank you. I'm so special. Just kidding.
very special. Now that special might be, riding the short bus, but still special. Okay, it's all there.
Oh, wow. Okay. All
Hey, riding the short bus, that's where the fun is.
right. Hey, man, I agree. They're some of my favorite people, honestly. Better than regular people, really.
Mm. Hey, well, we got some lot of cool stuff going on, guys. Like, Frank has a deal that he brought a buyer to the table, and it's in Ogden. We're going to close on Thursday. Uh, we have Papa Woody. He might be looking at a deal that we're wholesaling to you that he might be keeping as a flip. Um, Katrina, you've got what was it? So there's two deals that they're working on right now that they're going back and forth, the agent and seller. So yeah, there's some major stuff going on, which is awesome. And I'm not even getting half of what people are doing, so it's cool. Uh, Saul, we're working on a deal too. Yeah, it's been kicking butt, guys. A lot of actions. It's not sweet. And by the way, I fixed the cold calling script. I didn't realize how bad it was. I thought I was reading through yesterday, but I think it's good now. Which okay. So the Door Knocking Bonanza, mañana. I love this. Let's figure out where we're going to be meeting. So it's 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., right? I think that's what I have it scheduled for. Yeah, for 2 p.m. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be meeting in West Valley, which we'll figure out right now where. Maps. So we'll be meeting at 11 o'clock, and we'll go over a little bit about the script. If anyone has questions, we can, and then we'll divide and conquer into teams of two. So there may be teams of three too. That's okay. If we can, it's West Valley, so if you get a Spanish speaker in your group, at least one, that's gonna be helpful. I think last time we were in West Valley, there was 40 members. We had like most people that showed up were bilingual, and then we had like the two English speakers ended up being together, and so it was like a lot of challenges that way. Didn't Courtney, you and you guys were, I can't remember who you're with.
Was it Josh maybe? No.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was Josh. That's right. That's right. Yeah. And had a little bit of a challenge, but that's fine. But who's all planning to be being at the Door Knocking Bonanza, even if you're nervous? And if you're not nervous, then I'd be nervous for you, especially if it's your first time. Like that's normal. Let's do this. We're doing what we can get really close by to the no defaults. Yeah, that's good. Westview Park. That should work. So copy link. Sweetness. All right, so this is going to be where we're going to be meeting at, and then put chat. Is Laura here? Where's Laura? It's the first time she's not here. I was going to see if she's coming down from Idaho or not. Usually she's always coming down. So that's the address that's in there that we're going to be meeting at. In addition to that, it's in the actual event. In the event itself, I'm just putting in this as we speak. Okay, perfect. 11:02 West Valley. Okay. Any questions on the location or anything like that at all? Sorry guys, multitasking. One time I was chewing gum and walking, fell right in my face every time. Okay. Perfect. Someone's having a challenge jumping in, so we'll get them in there. Okay. Um. So again, now who's planning to go to the Door Knocking Bonanza? There will be prizes. So what we're going for is who sets the most appointments, right? And then also how many doors did you knock? And how many no's? A no answer is not a no, by the way, guys. That's different. So we'll have usually I'll do like 20 $20 gift card, $25 gift card for each person in the group. What's two or three? So it's not like crazy cool, but it's just fun stuff to compete against. Who's gone to a bonanza, and I want to hear about your experience, what your feelings and thoughts were on it. Courtney, do you want to share a little bit what your thoughts were when before you came and then after?
Yeah, sure. I think it was really helpful to do it and do it with, peers, whoever you placed me with. One, to make the time go faster. Two, to hear how they say it and to ask like for feedback on what I'm doing. Three, also the time that there was one house you met up with us on, like we were going around to groups, and on ours hearing you speak to the person, and just I want to say that you just got the best person of the day to talk to, but it might have just actually been you, because they were just like talking to you like you were a neighbor. Like they were just talking to you like, yeah, and and sure. There was no like that silence where they just look at you and they're like, why are you here? Like kind of a feeling. So maybe it was your skill and personality, or maybe you just got like the one gem in the neighborhood. What is your skill and personality?
I would
Like,
rather be lucky than good any infinity times. Like I'll give me luck instead of skills. I'm good with that. You
yeah,
know,
like whatever you were doing, she just seemed like she was just cool, just chatting. Like if you were
right?
like, "Hey, can I hang out for 10 more minutes and just chat with you?" It felt like she would just been like, "Yeah, sure, no
Mhm.
problem." Um,
Yeah.
so, and also seeing you go through the different strategies, like if not this, then that. Like if
Hmm.
I can't help you with your house, who can I help you with? If I can't help you with somebody else, do you have an interest in what we do? Like seeing you kind of go through the, what do you call it? Like you're leaving with something kind of
I'm
a
leaving
thing.
here with something. Yeah.
Yeah. So seeing you do that was super helpful. It was nice to connect me with other people in the group, like for for real. Like I met Frank that day because I was talking to him about stuff. He wasn't the person I was partnered with, but the person I partnered with was a very nice person as well. And meeting Frank was helpful because we've attempted to collaborate on different stuff since then. And then
Yeah.
when you placed me with Jenny, it was great because she has a completely different vibe about her that was just very fun and refreshing. Um, like mega chill and mega aggressive, all wrapped into one, and it was like a perfect yin yang.
Yeah.
Um, so that was good. I also like that there was contrasting types of neighborhoods that we did. So one, I got to see that it's not everybody's cup of tea to do certain types of neighborhoods, and then the
Hmm.
exact same sentence on another type of neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm not a dog person. I was like thrilled when we were in a neighborhood where everybody kept their little poodles in their backyards versus
Right.
aggressively in their front yards. So it was just cool to know that like if you had a not productive day, just go find a different kind of neighborhood and whatever different kind is, like different town, different price range, different purpose of what you're going for. Like that you could just pivot who you go with, where you go, and keep going. Like pivot, and they're all great, but like that it doesn't even have to get boring because you can get a new person, a new neighborhood, a new mission of who you're trying to connect with to help and close, and it's very unboring to say the least. Though I would like to see it be much more financially productive for me the next couple times. Um,
Right.
it's definitely real world hands on learning experience. And if anybody ever said they wanted to go for a walk and potentially make money from it, it's the only one I know of.
Right. Facts. Yeah. No, I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate your insight and with it could have been like on that one door. Like I could have had the nicest person ever, but a lot of it, joking aside, it's a lot of it's skill, and it doesn't sound like skill. It sounds like luck. You guys can create luck.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was picking on you. You were just very easy to
Oh
talk
yeah,
to
yeah.
in
No,
your
no, no.
approach, and she
But
connected with that. So
well,
yeah,
there's a good point that I want to make on that too. So
okay.
that's why I'm not no slight either way. I'm just saying like we create luck when luck increases because you can increase the chances of you finding that the deal of the decade, like just boom right there. The way that we increase our luck, our chances of luck, is when preparation meets opportunity, that crossover. So the more prepared you are to jump on a potential opportunity, and the more that you're putting yourself in situations where those opportunities can arise, that increases the amount of luck of you. Oh, you just stumbled ass backwards into a deal, but in reality, you were preparing yourself, like your preparation as far as like getting the skill set, learning, practicing, uh, failing with other people, but now you feel you're more prepared. That actually increases your luck. So when opportunity plus preparation, that is luck, and that's the more you have more of those two things, the more likely you are to get lucky. So if you want to, so when someone says it must be nice, you got lucky when you found that deal, or like I wish I was lucky like Rachel, or I was lucky like whatever name you want to and put into it, like create your own luck, get preparation plus opportunity. So I love it. And it's all about like having the less smooth you all are, the better it's going to be. The more success you will have, the less smooth you are. So the unrefined, um, the confusion, the your cadence as you slow down. I'm naturally a pretty fast speaker, so when I'm talking to sellers, very especially for the very beginning, I intentionally have to remind myself to slow it down, slow down my cadence, and I'll put in more and like and I just turn into someone. I just want to be curious. I'm leaving here with something, and I'm just curious of what about anything that they're saying. I want to find out more about that, whatever it is. So being a genuinely curious, and people can pick up when you're genuine or not. But just be curious about that person, about their lives, their situation, what they're saying, what that really means behind it, and just asking like, almost silly questions. Like what do you mean by that? Can you tell me more about that? I'm curious. I mean, you'll be shocked at the amount of people that they'll open up and I just start giving information. Have you guys ever had a situation where you're talking to someone and you just end up giving so much more information to them than you would normally like anyone else? Has anyone had an experience like that, right? It's either because like the way that they're asking questions or that you're feeling kind of safe with, right? Thank you, Katrina. I'm glad one person's not sleeping. So it generally, I mean, when we're having those conversations with those type of people, it's usually because how they're making you feel, the questions they're asking, and just being genuinely curious about you. You're opening up, you're giving more information to them than someone else, and that's what we want with the sellers. So I love it. It's all about just understanding what we're going for, and then I'm leaving here with something that's huge. Like if they don't want to sell their property, cool. Do you know anyone that you might be able to introduce me that might be going through some of these challenges? No? Okay. Have you ever thought about investing in real estate? Oh, you have? Okay. Well, on Thursday night, we're doing this meeting. You should come check it out. But so Rachel, I want to shout out to Rachel. Like she lives in Tennessee, right? Tennessee.
Yep.
And but she'll try to do the bonanzas with us, but just in the different state. But yeah, tell me about your experience about door knocking. I'm interested to find out.
Okay, yeah. So, well, first of all, for tomorrow, I can't go because we're getting our bees, our honey bees, and so can't miss that. But anyways, it's been planned for a few months. But anyways, but yeah. So, it's interesting. I'd love to hear your thoughts, Jared. I think I might be wrong, but I think you always choose the areas where y'all go. And so for me, I'm only been in Tennessee. I never lived here before last Labor Day. So I've only been here like maybe 7 months or so. And so I had to try and figure out a neighborhood. I thought it would be easy. But anyway, so the first time I went, I had chosen some areas I thought might work by looking at Deal Machine and virtually driving because they're far away from me. So trying to use my time wisely. And so, anyways, and so when I had chosen 3 different neighborhoods and I went out there, I ended up going by myself. I really didn't want to. I asked my husband to go. He did say he would go, but then at the last minute, I just decided to go by myself anyways. And I am glad I did because even though I was scared, I just chose a nice looking neighborhood, which is also something that I talked to Courtney about, and I'm starting to do more of that anyways. But anyway, so I chose a decent neighborhood, but I, I do believe people were watching me walk up to people's houses and stuff because I had one person, he wouldn't even let me come on to his driveway. He was like giving me the getaway sign. And when I didn't immediately turn around, he gave it more forcefully. But otherwise, after I knocked on a couple of doors, nobody answered. It became easier. And then when I knocked on a couple of doors and someone did answer, when someone did answer, it wasn't hard to talk to them. They were very nice, much nicer than they are when I call on the phone typically. And it made it really easy to get through it. I have an experience where I'll knock on like 30 plus doors and only 7 or 8 people even answer the door. And so I did have that happen to me both times, but it's good exercise, and especially here with these hills. And it's really good exercise for talking to people. And that was the mindset that I went with, was just, even if you don't get anything out of this, you're getting experience. So it's still something in talking to people and getting your name out there, and everything. So I thought it was a really good experience, and I was super proud of myself for going by myself um, to knock on doors. So I wish that more people would answer. And I'm looking forward to the next time I'm doing it. And I'm going to find a good neighborhood that I'm going to take as my own, as Courtney recommended. So,
No, I like that. That's awesome. And one thing that you mentioned, like at first it was kind of hard, but then after you started doing it, it wasn't as bad as you thought, or wasn't as hard, right?
right,
I,
right.
I,
Go ahead.
no, go ahead. No, yeah. So getting past, how did you get through the courage to knock on that first door, especially when you're by yourself?
Well, the same way I do when I'm on the phone. When I get to call someone on the phone, man, it's so hard to hit that send button. But I'm just like, I don't care, hit it, and I hit it, and I'm like, well, it's done now. Whatever happens. Same,
Right.
same with the door
Love
knocking. At first I knocked kind of quietly, and then if I, if someone heard it, if the dog starts barking, and that was kind of scary too, even though I love animals better than people, especially dogs, but you never know, someone else's dog when they're protecting their property. That was scary, but otherwise I just, I literally forced myself to walk into their driveway or up the sidewalk, whatever. And I was like, well, you're walking up there now. If you don't knock now, they're going to start calling the neighborhood next door link or whatever and be like, there's a weirdo canvassing our property. So you have to knock. So I just
Yeah.
literally forced myself to take steps onto the property. And then that, kind of left me in a point of no return, is how I made it be in my mind.
No, I love that. I love that. Making a point of no return, like just doing the first step, and that's the biggest thing. Sometimes we get our head wrapped around the access of like every step before it, but it's like worry about the first step, get into the yard,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then worry about knocking the door, and then so yeah. And here's the
Exactly.
thing, guys, like even like I get nervous too when I'm knocking, like the first door I knock on, like in my head sometimes like don't answer, don't answer, don't answer, don't answer, don't answer, like that's normal. That's not a weird thing for it to happen. I mean, does the anxiety is nowhere near what when I first started to learn how to door knock, but it's still there, and it's always like the first one. After that, then it's like easy breezy. Once you get past the first one and realize this isn't so scary, and you have someone next to you that can help with whether it's picking up if you mess up or whatever, or you can help them pick up if they mess up. It becomes it's a camaraderie,
Yeah.
whatever words. Um, it becomes a lot of fun at that point, right? So yeah, I love that. Thanks for
You
sharing
know,
your experience.
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and I also just wanted to say, I don't have any friends here yet, and I mean, a couple, but I can't take them with me, and I don't have any kids, and et cetera. But anyways, I just want to say that being here in Tennessee, when I do it well, I don't do it exactly the same time as y'all. I do it at 11 to 2 my time, so it's 2 hours early. But whenever I'm here doing it by myself, that's another thing that does help me go forward, Jared, is I'm like, I know I'm not in Utah, but we're
Mm-hmm.
still all doing it together. And that it helps me feel better, because I think, well, I'm doing this with them. They're going to want to know my results, and you asked
Right.
me, how did it go and everything. And so that, that is really helpful. And I just want to say that, like, the opportunity, uh, because it's really scary, because it's something added into my schedule that for me is hard, because I am short on time and I got a lot going on. So it makes it hard for me to add an extra thing into my schedule. But um, I can't tell y'all how much I don't like to say I wish anything, because I believe if you wish it, just do it. But anyways, I really miss that I'm not there in Utah with y'all, because
Mm-hmm.
I think I've come to understand after the last games, and doing them virtually with y'all, I guess, what a valuable experience this is that you've set up for us. And I did not understand that when I first started to do it. And I didn't even really understand it or realize it until this conversation right now. So I just want to say it's just incredibly valuable. And from somebody who's thousands of miles away, I would love to be there with y'all doing it. So I hope y'all take advantage of it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That's sweet of you to say, and it does make a big difference when you're doing it as a team, as you're holding yourself accountable. You're always going to do something more than you would have just on your own, whether it's virtual or just right here in Utah where most of us are at, right? So that's cool. Yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow. It's gonna be good. The weather should be good too, I think, if memory serves. Last I checked, it's been a minute, but it was earlier this week. What questions do you guys have? Do you guys want to? We can spend the last 30 minutes and do like maybe even like a breakout session and even do some practicing beforehand. If you guys think that'd be helpful for the door knocking, or if we want to go over the script again, or what questions you guys have about just door knocking in general.
I
Yes,
if no, I don't want to take up all the time. If anyone else has to talk, please say something. But I do have a
that's great
question
stuff.
or something I'd like to comment or ask, sort of, if nobody else.
Yeah,
Okay.
do your
Uh,
thing.
sorry, I'm not trying to take up all the
Oh,
time. So
no, you're good.
okay. Um, uh, I'm in the wholesale Facebook group. I think you are too, Jared, and I think some other people are on Facebook, just the wholesale group or whatever it's called. And as I've been in this challenge last time and now this time, I'm kind of developing my way of doing things, I guess, which is normal. But when I see, I mean, I come from no background of this whatsoever. You know, I've never done anything like this, and so I see the people on the wholesale Facebook page, and I think maybe I need to do some of those things that they're doing, and then I'm doing all the things that you're suggesting, Jared. But I'm getting a lot of just no one answering the phone, no one returning my calls, no one answering their door. I'm running into that a
Mm-hmm.
lot. And of course, it's difficult, frustrating. You know, I understand all that. I can get by with that. But what I've started to learn, I think, as I talk to some people today, and please correct me if I'm wrong, this is what I'm asking is is my line of thinking right? You know, people on Facebook page I've thought about because they've said, oh, you might want to get a virtual assistant. Well, you might want to, you know, do the dialer and everything. And I think that is a good idea. But they're saying all these things, pay the money, do things. I don't mind doing that. I can do it if I think it'll work. But what I found when I'm calling people is it seems like, yes, you can get a lot of conversations and appointments if you pay the virtual assistant or all these things that you pay for. But as you're because I because I feel like I'm sorry, I'm trying to finish my thought. I
You're
feel
good.
like thanks. Um, when I feel like my wheels are spinning and I'm just wasting all of my time calling when no one answers. No one answers. It feels like a waste
Mm-hmm.
of time. But I guess you can if I focus my time on building relationships with the people that I am talking to, even if I don't pay for the virtual assistant and all those other things, developing those relationships is just as valuable, right? To do it that way, is that right? That's
So when
my
you say developing, so like when you're calling someone, developing that relationship for that, so maybe they don't want to sell, but they might know someone that does, or is that what you're referring to, right?
kind of, yeah. So a lot of the properties, the majority of people that pick up and actually have a conversation with me are not, they're actually other investors, you know. So of course
Mm-hmm.
I ask them what their buy box is, add them to my contact list, find out when
Perfect.
I can call them again. If like this one guy I talked to today, I've been calling about his house for the last few months. And so I spoke to him today. He was on family vacation. He gave me 1 minute. And I don't think it's going to, well, I don't like to say that, but it's not likely to work out. I think his tenant is going to buy the property. But now this is my third conversation I had with him today. And I already have a bam fam him, and I'm going to call him back next week when he's not on his family vacation and talk about it some more with him. So the more you talk to the same people, even if you can't do anything with them right now, then that's I guess my question is that as valuable? Like it's still just as valuable to do that than it is to pay for virtual assistants and everything that might get you more leads, right?
Well, I think they're both very valuable, right? And if I had to choose one, I would be building relationships, right? But um, it's being a friend of mine too. So whether they know someone that's looking to sell or if they have multiple properties, you know, if you reach out to them every now and every couple months or whatever, and then like, oh yeah, actually I do want to, but you know, Rachel, like people that are successful that are doing deals that have rentals and they respect the follow up. They really do. So if someone keeps following up and then like I got to sell, I'm at least give you a shot. You know, like yeah, give me an offer. Maybe it's too low, maybe it's not working out, but whatever. But at least they're going to give you a shot. Um, with that being said, also just be conscious of how much time you're spending on something like that versus like finding new leads and trying to, keep the funnel filled. So as far as like landlords, hired landlords, you can set up where you're just going to reach out to them when they have a better conversation, ask them about if they have, maybe they're not looking to sell that property, but they have any other properties looking to sell. That ask them about, you start talking to them about great financing. What are some cool options? Like, so what got you into real estate? I'm just curious. And like, well, cash flow, generational wealth. And like, what's one thing you absolutely like you don't like about about real estate? And they'll probably say the renters or whatever. Like, well, if I can get you that cash flow without having to worry about the renters, that wouldn't interest you, would it? So just questions like that can lead into seller financing really easy, especially when they're investors and they're in it for cash flow. So you can offer them cash flow as a monthly payments, being in a position of the bank. The bank don't care if your rental property has a tenant in there or not. They don't care. They just if they don't care if the roof leaking. If I call the bank and say I can't make a payment, the renter like had to evict them. They're not here anymore, not paying rent. Like I don't care, make your payment. I call the bank and like, hey, the roof's leaking. And they're like, we don't care the roof's leaking, make your payment. That's the position. So you're putting them into that type of position, and they some of these guys have only read a couple Robert Kiyosaki books, and then they started buying some real estate. So they may not quite understand the full scope of how awesome seller financing is for a long-term play. So yeah, I think building those relationships and just being that consistent touch, I think it is very, very, very valuable, right? Because then if you get in with them, they might know someone else that's looking to sell. And so again, if we start the conversation with like we're knocking a door, we're making a phone call, I'm leaving here with something. This is where, because it is very, very frustrating to talk about, or because this is a very common theme people have. It's just like you're knocking on doors, you're making phone calls, and it's just you get into a slew of like just rejection, 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 rejection. Like this sucks, this sucks. Like it's getting a whole lot of no's, a whole lot of like maybe rude people, and it's just frustrating because like I'm making these calls, but why am I not landing a deal yet, right? But the chances of us landing a deal is going to increase dramatically as long as we're one kind of building a relationship like you mentioned, but if we get into I'm leaving here with something. So I want the deal. I want them to sell my house. If not, do they know anyone else is looking to sell a house? Do they have any other properties they're looking to sell? Like I've had the conversation I asked them about this property and they're like, no, I don't want to sell it. And then he was trying to get me off the phone. I was like, well, do you have any other properties you might be looking to sell? Well, actually, and we started talking about some other properties when I bought one of those. So if I didn't ask about, do you have anything else you were looking to sell, I wouldn't have got that deal. And if there's been plenty of times where I talked about referrals, like, hey, by the way, we offer a $3,000 to $5,000 referral fee. If you introduce me to someone that might be looking to sell and actually buy it, I'll pay you, paying the deal $3,000 to $5,000. If I got you $5,000 in the next week, would that be helpful? So talking like using that, like if I got you $5,000 in the next 7 days, the next week, would that be helpful? You're putting a time frame on it. And you're not saying you're guaranteeing anything. Like if I did this, would that be helpful? Oh, it would be helpful. Okay, cool. Do you know anyone that would be looking to sell? You introduce me. And even if they introduce you, they're not guaranteed to get any money until it actually closes, right? So it's a fair game, but you're also putting a time frame in it. They're like, if you're saying the next week, then they're like, okay, if I introduce them to someone and they actually close the deal in this next week, I can have $5,000 in my bank account in the next 7 days. But if I say like I'll pay you $5,000 once we close, sometimes like okay, it seems so far away, it's not real. So if you put a time frame into it and let them almost imagine a little bit, it becomes more real. And their countenance change. Like when you're on the phone, when you're knocking the doors, 90% of the people, when I mentioned the referral, their countenance, the way that they're talking to me completely changes. It really does. And it's weird. I'm trying to give them $5,000. Suddenly they like me a lot more. I don't know why. Imagine that. But so then they're more open to have conversations with you at that point because it's what's in it for them. every conversation is what's in it for them. Like, do you have challenges? I can help you with these properties. No, okay. Do you know anyone who has these challenges I can help out so I can pay you $5,000? Cool. Have you ever thought about getting involved in real estate or learning more and networking? Great. Get them connected to Renata's affiliate program. Get paid $12,000 when they buy education. Okay. I'm leaving here with something, right? So with that type of mindset, it's going to dramatically increase your chances of getting yeses when you're doing the cold calling, when you're knocking those doors. If we implement that, because a lot of deals that even in this group, like those one that we should be finalizing, we're gonna be making $70,000 on, and that'll be closing, like actually us getting paid the beginning of next month, and that was because Kate, Creighton, he made his first call, first dial, and he asked about a property, and like, no, we're not looking to sell. And I asked about, and did they have any other properties looking to sell, or do they know anyone else is looking to sell? And then they introduced us to Bruce, and then Bruce, we got this deal, and it's going to be like a $70,000 profit. If not, actually, it's going to be more because they extended it twice. That's an extra $20,000. So it actually should be closer to 90,000 instead of 70, and that's because of I'm leaving here with something. So it's a powerful method, powerful technique to really increase your chances of getting. So it's easy to get frustrated, but again, that's when we're like, that's where the avatar is super important. Even when we're knocking on doors, when we're calling, having your avatar in your heart when you're doing those reach outs, it doesn't seem as heavy, all those rejections, because you're on a mission. You're going to help. I'm going to help Maria and her two kids. They need my help. So I have the emotional attachment to knocking on that door. I have that emotional attachment to making that phone call. So the rejections don't feel as bad. And if we're going for no, we're going. I'm gonna get 50 no's. I'm not gonna stop knocking until 50 people tell me no. I'm just gonna knock, 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 or I'm gonna make calls or whatever it is. And every door that I knock on, it's a positive thing. So the more, again, this is luck and opportunity, or this is opportunity and preparation, right? We're giving ourselves more opportunity to become lucky, and as we're doing this, we're increasing our preparation because we're putting the reps, we're having the conversations, we're messing up, making mistakes, and that's the best thing for you, is to mess up and make those mistakes, because now we're increasing our preparation and opportunity, and that's what I'm leaving here with something. It increases our opportunity. Because like the opportunities when I first made that phone call was just for him. Like, do you have a house you're looking to sell? Okay. No. What about, do you know anyone else looking to sell? Okay. Do you have any properties you're looking? Do you have any other properties looking to sell? Do you have you ever thought about getting involved in real estate yourself and investing in real estate, doing fix and flips and rentals and whatnot? So the more questions we're asking, the bigger the opportunity is for them to say yes to you. So, and also this is a way where, combination with the avatar, going for no, I'm leaving here with something. We're training our brains to fall in love with the process. If you fall in love with the process, and you're not only happy when we close a deal and you have big checks in our bank, you're happy because like you're giving yourself rewards for hitting your goals. You're moving that needle. You're feeling a little bit more smoother, not as afraid when you're knocking on those doors because you put in those reps. You are going to eventually get to the point where it's like it's going to be easy. You're going to be loving it, and then you're going to fall in love with the process. Where that's where it's going to go crazy. The progression of your skill set and your success is a hockey puck. So you'll see it as like, it's like almost like nothing, and then skyrockets up. You've seen people have heard, like, you really haven't heard much about what they're doing, and they get on your radar for whatever reason, and they're just doing like deal after deal after deal after deal, right? It's just that because they had all those failures, all those no's, and then bam, like something clicked. They've started building momentum. They fell in love with the process, and then that's when they're closing 4 or 5 deals a month. I had a lot of mistakes. Like I was going like 4 or 5 appointments a day to talk about someone selling their property, and I would go to appointments where I knew they were going to tell me no. I knew my offer was going to be a lot lower than what they owed, and I couldn't do a short sale because they weren't in any distress, and they could have on the time just throw in the market and probably make a ton more than what I was willing to offer. But I knew that my offer is 200, they owe 300. Like they're not going to tell me yes on that. They're not going to pay $100,000 to sell their house, right? But I would still go just to get those reps in to practice, because I'd rather practice on someone that's going to tell me no than practice on someone that might tell me yes. You know what I mean? So I'd rather get those errors out then. So I was just taking every single appointment, going and talking to the people and trying to figure out what's the best way to get the yes. And the more and the less smoother I got, the better it ended up being. Because that's where it's like people can open up to you, because you're not some slick salesperson. You're a human being. You're knocking on the door and you're like, are you the, and you're just almost a little confused, the stammering old man, where you're just confused a little bit. You look confused, I should say. Like, are you, looking at the roof a little bit, and like, are you the homeowner? If you lean into that cadence, that type of talk, people are going to come through. They're gonna answer the door. They're gonna respond to you in a whole different light. Because again, remember, what do people do? Put you in boxes. So when you're on the phone, when you're knocking the door, if you if you do the stammering old man or stammering old lady, where it's just like, yeah, I don't know if you can help me or not, but you, I'm with a company. We're gonna buy like 4 or 5 properties in this area, and before we go into into the invest such a large amount of money, because we buy properties and fix them up, then sell them again, and helps increase the value of neighbors like yourself. We Before we get such a huge investment, we like to talk to homeowners like yourself, and get a better feel, for the neighborhood and area. Would you be opposed if I asked you like 2, 3 questions real quick? So, not being smooth, that if I with that cadence, that pitch right there, I'll get into more doors than even if I was said the exact same thing, but I was nice, smooth, clear, ready to go. Even phone calls, like, I don't know, it's Bob. Oh, Bob. Okay, good. I got a hold of you. Thank goodness. Call that 123 Fake Street. Is this Does that ring a bell? Oh yeah. Okay, cool. My wife and I are looking to buy property in the area, and I know it's a cold call out of the blue here, but have you guys ever thought about selling? Slowing things down, being confused or sounding like confused, is dramatically gets to the door. So I'll bring that up because those are just ways to get past all of those no's. It's those pattern interrupts that they don't know what box to put me in, so they have to listen to me and to create their own box for me. If I'm knocking on a door, if I'm a stammering man, that's a pattern interrupt. They're just confused. They want to know what's my deal, and they're going to listen. They don't know what box to put me in. So give them so they don't already make a decision before you open your mouth, or after the first couple seconds. So they already had make the decision what they're going to do with you the second you start knocking the door and they going through your pitch or whatever. But if you do it a little differently, do a little different pattern interrupts, you'll get more yeses. So again, it's this increasing opportunity. Never leave I'm leaving here with something. Having different mindset as far as falling in love with the process, and doing the pattern interrupts to get more yeses. So this is where it's like you're calling the same number of people, but you're getting more yeses in it, and that's and it takes time. It's not going to be like you're not going to get it the first time. It's not going to be perfect. And in fact, being perfect is what you don't want. Does that make sense? I went at tangents on it, but this is kind of it all wraps around into, like, if you're getting all these no's, that's why you have to implement all of these small things into it, and then you're gonna be fall in love with the process, and you'll get more yeses.
Yeah, I think I'm having trouble falling in love with the process.
Right.
Right.
That's
a good suggestion.
That's normal.
Yeah.
And
that's hard.
Yeah. I mean, the process has a good heart, though. They might be ugly, but they have a good heart, right? So it's just a matter of like your mindset where when you're knocking on the door or like it's putting the avatar into place, like remembering your avatar and who's the person that my ideal person, who am I helping, change the meanings of everything, and then that's the best way to fall in love with the process, I think. And rewarding yourself when you hit your goals. That's also another helpful thing. So it's not just I get my reward when I close that deal and make 20K, but my reward's going to be awesome. I get a game for an extra hour tonight or something like that or whatever. I don't know whatever that reward may be. So that's huge. What other thoughts or questions you guys have about door knocking or what we had talked about? You know, I hope what I was saying made sense for people. So Jenny, you came on a little later, and Marjorie. So the tomorrow's door knocking bonanza, the address is in the event. It's also in the chat if you can see it. I don't know if you can or not, but 11 o'clock tomorrow. 11 to 2, and then we're going to be in West Valley. So, Marjorie, are you in a place where you can come up? And I want to hear about your experience too. The first time you did, you know, or your experience with door knocking and door knocking bonanzas.
The first couple, so like the first one, I was scared spitless, honestly. I was with Lara, she's amazing. But we were both scared. We're like, what in the world are we doing? What are we gonna say? We were in, I think, West Valley, not that it matters what area, but anyways, and the areas that we were in, if it's the right one I'm thinking of, I want to say most of them were rentals. So it was kind of a little bit frustrating because people are like, well, I just rent. I'm like, okay, well, do you know of somebody that might be selling? Nope, I just moved here. I'm like, okay. We're like trying to like pick their brain a little bit, but it was a little bit hard just because people are new to the area. They seem to have something going because it was a Saturday afternoon, getting to whatever activity. And so it was honestly very frustrating. The second time I believe it was, I took my 14-year-old with, and so he was with myself and I don't think she's in this games, Claudia. And my son thought I was crazy. He's like, Mom, you are way outgoing, like more so than I thought you were. And I'm like, it shouldn't have really surprised you, honestly, but he just thought I was. He's like, you just started talking to this person and walking their dog. I'm like, well, why not? I'm like, that could lead to something and didn't. But
right.
So yeah, the between the first and the second, I'm trying to think if I did 3 or not. First and second, it was totally different. Actually, you know what? I did do 3 because that's when we thought we were at the front doors and we really weren't. We were at the back doors.
Oh yeah, with those townhomes.
Those were interesting in Lehigh. So each one was different. I felt a little bit more comfortable, but at the same time, Jared is awesome going door knocking with because he has so much experience that he knows, but even at the same time, like he has said, he gets kind of tongue tied too, but he kind of like lets it flow a little bit more than I think I do. I know that for a fact. So if you can go with Jared, totally go for him because he's awesome. So
well, I appreciate that, and I try to during the door knock bonanza to break off and go as many groups as I can to knock on a couple doors to at least have one conversation. Then I'll go to another group. So I'm traveling as we're doing all this door knocking to try to go knocking with you guys as much as I possibly can. Yeah, that was fun to door knock, especially in Lehigh. That was interesting in those townhomes, but yeah, it's good. Love it. Okay. And so Jenny, can you tell me because you came in a little bit later, but what has been your experience with the door knocking?
Oh, I loved it from the minute I did it. I
Yeah.
think it's fun. Yeah, and I think my biggest thing is it's not scared of people. It's just having enough, I wouldn't say, I don't know, just natural scripts in your head to be able to talk to them, you know, because you kind of have to read the people, what they want and how to do it, because there's so many different approaches you can take with them. So
Yeah.
I do like your script a lot, though. It's very simple and it leaves it open to be able to add whatever you want to it without like bleh, giving a bunch of information that They're like, okay, all right, are you done? So yeah, I
No,
think it's fun, and it's fun to interact with people. And I think that I've had way more success, whether it's marketing for Renatus or, talking in person, way more success in person than I ever do. Like, because I don't love phone calls, but I'd rather go out and go to a big party and talk to a bunch of people. So
right.
yeah, I like it. It's effective. I think your script's great. I haven't gone door knocking with you yet, so that's pretty rude.
Ah,
So
that's
you,
true,
so
huh?
you owe me. You owe me.
Okay. Well, you're coming tomorrow then, right? Okay. Well, I'll go with you for sure.
I'll have to rearrange some work stuff, but I mean, yeah, I'll come for
Okay.
at least a little bit of it.
Just quit. It's fine. It's fine. No worries. Yeah.
No, I like my job. I don't work that much.
Ah, that's what. Okay, that makes sense.
Jenny, didn't you have something that you dropped off to doors, or was that just for the
For nationals.
It was just
nationals?
for the conference.
Okay, that's why I thought.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if there was something else that you had with you last time.
No, I probably should leave something like a post-it note or something. I haven't done that yet, which is
You're
usually
not
when I
allowed.
go to a door, I try to get at least their information. Like, oh, like, can I send you a text or follow up with you? Because I think a lot of times we do forget to, if there's any kind of interest, to get something, right? Like Jared said, leave us something. So the phone number is great because you can invite them to Renatus, you can invite them to a house tour, you can invite them to talk to them about their cousin they mentioned. So try to get their number. I would
And
say.
a great easy way to get their number is just like yeah, let me, because if you talk to them about the referral, like I might know someone. Great. Yeah, let me text you my number. What's your number, and I'll text it to you. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah, people are pretty good about it. They don't really care.
yeah, yeah,
If they're going to sit there and talk to you, they're more likely to give you a number.
sure. I couldn't, yeah, absolutely. I love it.
I have something that I leave. I got these door knockers. I made them after Jason gave me his, and I made these. Do you want me to just tell you what it says?
Yeah.
Backwards.
Yeah, we can read it. It looks well, I mean, yeah, well, go ahead.
It just says, feel stuck in your current mortgage situation. You have more options than you might think. And this is Polly Jenkins, my avatar. She's sad because she has stacks of bills.
Yeah.
And then it says, let's talk about it, my phone number, my email. And then on the other side, it just says, we buy houses, divorce, low equity, downsizing, relocating, fire damage, water damage, behind on payments, avoiding foreclosures, foreclosure, repairs you can't afford, any condition, any situation. And then it says, know someone else who may need us, get paid $1,000 at closing for referrals. So
Boom.
since all the people I haven't had a chance to use these yet. I'm super excited. So
They look great.
thank you and thanks to Jason Valoria. He deserves all the credit because I literally basically copied his. I figured it wouldn't matter since I'm thousands of miles away, but I'm
Right.
super excited to leave these on people's doors. I think they're high quality, and I think I only paid like $120 for like 500 of them.
Oh wow.
Will you post
Yeah.
a picture of that in the discussion board, the front and back?
I will try. I don't know how.
You guys can't hog it. Can't
Yeah,
bring it up and then hog it.
I know, right?
Right.
Yes, I'll work on that. Yes,
Or
What-
link to it or whatever. Yeah, that'd be kind of
Yeah.
that's a really cool thing.
I'm
So-
excited about him.
What site did you use to print them off? Do you
I think
remember?
I went to Vistaprint and I messed up because I already paid for a yearly subscription or whatever to Canva, and so I designed it on Canva, but then I had a little bit of trouble. So I don't really recommend doing that. I recommend designing it on the site you're going to buy it from. But Vistaprint and Gotprint are two different sites that I use for these types of things, and Vistaprint was where I got these for this price.
Nice.
Thank you. And I will, I'm gonna try and, I just gotta figure out how to get it into, that's one reason I wasn't gonna do it, Jenny, but yeah, I'll work on that right now, put it in the chat.
You better, because I have your number. I'm gonna come after you.
I know, I
I love
texted
that.
to you. No, I'll put it in the chat.
No, that's awesome. And the thing is, like, it's nice to, so even with those, the people that will answer, you're leaving it there, and when you do have something to give, like a card or something like that, you still want their information first. So it's like you want to make sure it's not necessarily visible, because if I have a stack of the big things in my hand, like, well, just give me that, and I'll call you. And then that's just like that's a phrase, that's a shoe phrase, like, get out of here, shoo. So I would just, if you have them in your back pocket or in your purse or something like that, so it's not necessarily visible, and so that it doesn't give them the cop out, and you can still get their number. You know, so you can be, you never want to leave the next action step in their hands. You always want to have the action step into your hands. So whether it's like, oh great, I'm going to call you, let's meet at this time. And if it's like, oh, I'll give you a ring when this happens, or I gotta talk to someone, like, okay, cool, let's can I call you, when are you gonna do that thing that you need to do, whatever depending on the conversation. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it Tuesday. Great. Can I call you on Wednesday? So just to see how things went? Okay, sweet, awesome. And then what's your phone number again? So whatever it may be, like oh yeah, I got a buddy, I would have to talk to him first. Sweet, awesome. When do you plan to talk to him?
Sounds like a Disneyland kiosk. The heck?
Oh, sticky notes are great too. Sticky notes are phenomenal.
They were hard to write. I got tired of writing. My hand was cramping.
Right? No, I think that it's a great idea. It's phenomenal. I know Jeff last season, he had a, he got like 1,000 of those, and that was his big lead sources, was going through knocking doors and throwing those on neighborhoods, things like that. So it's pretty powerful.
So Jared, but would you only leave those if they're not answering the door? Other than that, just get their information.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if they're not answering the door, leave it on. And if you got their information, sometimes there's you're not going to get their information, whatever. So that's, you still leave it, right? Depends on what's going on. Mm-hmm.
What do you do about no soliciting doors? You just go anyway?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, okay. Nobody is those are just stupid signs. Nobody obeys them.
Well, yeah, the no soliciting, because you're not selling anything. You're trying to buy their house, right? So
right.
If anyone points out the no soliciting sign, like, oh, why are you soliciting? I'm not actually selling anything. If anything, if you're using the script, the backdoor approach, you're asking for help. You're like, I just want to find out about the neighborhood. Would it be crazy? Would you be opposed if you answered 3 questions of mine? Like, you're not soliciting. Like, do you know anyone looking to go in, like, that might be interested in selling? Oh, you do? Okay. Oh shoot. But anyways, yeah, I love it. Okay. Well, I look forward and seeing all of you as much as we possibly can. I am pretty sure Laura's coming down from Idaho too, because she's awesome like that. But yeah, let's meet there and start knocking on doors and getting some deals.
I just put that picture in the chat. Sorry, it took me a while to figure out how to get it in there.
Oh, and this, okay. Can you put it also in the community board where
Yes,
in
I can
school?
do that. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll do
Because as
that
soon as we
right
end
away.
this call, then that'll go away.
I know.
So, but it's
Thank
there
you.
for people to look at. You can save it and whatnot, and then, I think it looks great.
Thanks. I'm excited. I don't recommend doing the we buy houses that way anymore though, because I can barely see the we even looking right here at it.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter. It's the back anyways, but
sure. No, I love it.
fine. Thanks, Jason.
Awesome, guys. Okay. Well, phenomenal. Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, and it was good. Get some more deals closed, so it's phenomenal. Okay.
Friday, Jared. Friday.
Bye, everybody. Love you all.
Thanks, Jared.